The great hall of the Galactic Council glowed with blue light. 12 tall chairs formed a circle, each filled by a different alien. Some had scales, others had fur. Some had 4 arms, others had wings. They ruled the galaxy with a firm hand for 10,000 years. Today was not a normal meeting. Today was about a problem. "I call this emergency session to order," said Head Counselor Tark. His gray skin wrinkled as he frowned. 4 yellow eyes blinked slowly as he looked at each member. "We have discovered a new species. They call themselves humans." A large screen appeared in the center of the room. It showed a blue-green planet. "Earth," said Tark. "3rd planet from a yellow star. The species has basic space travel, but remains confined to their system." Counselor Vex leaned forward, his insect-like arms clicking. "Then why is this an emergency? They are primitive." Tark pressed a button. The screen changed to show human cities, factories, and military bases. "They are primitive, yes, but they are advancing faster than any species we have seen before. And they are violent." The screen showed human wars, tanks, and bombs. "They fight among themselves constantly," continued Tark. "They build weapons even when at peace, and their technology grows at an alarming rate. Look at this." The screen displayed a timeline. It showed how quickly humans had moved from basic flight to space travel. Most species take 1,000 years to make this progress. Humans did it in less than 100. The council chamber fell silent. Even the oldest members looked worried. Counselor Ilara stood up. She was tall and slender with pale blue skin. "But they show promise too. Look at their art, their music, their capacity for compassion." "Compassion?" Tark laughed. "They cannot even show compassion to each other. Imagine what they would do to us if they knew we existed." "We should contact them," said Ilara. "Guide them. Help them join the galactic community." "Too dangerous," rumbled Counselor Durak, his stone-like face unmoving. "They would steal our technology and use it against us." Tark nodded. "I propose a quarantine. We place monitoring stations around their system. We watch them, and when the time is right, we decide. Eliminate, subjugate, or perhaps, if they prove worthy, eventual integration." "Eliminate." Ilara's voice rose. "You speak of genocide." "I speak of safety," Tark replied coldly. "One primitive but dangerous species versus the peace of the entire galaxy." The council members began to argue. Some sided with Ilara, but most agreed with Tark. Humans were too unpredictable, too violent, too quick to advance. Finally, Tark called for a vote. "Those in favor of the quarantine." 10 hands raised. Those opposed. Only Ilara and 1 other raised their hands. "The motion passes," said Tark. "We will establish a quarantine immediately. Our probes will monitor Earth without being detected. The humans will never know we are watching." Ilara stood up. "I formally register my protest. This goes against our principles of open contact." "Your protest is noted," said Tark dismissively. "This meeting is adjourned." As the council members filed out, Tark approached Ilara. "Your sympathy for lesser species is admirable," he said, "but misplaced. These humans are dangerous. You will see that in time." "No," she replied. "What's dangerous is making decisions based on fear." After the council chamber emptied, silence fell. But in a dark corner behind a service panel, something moved. A small device floated silently in the air. It had recorded everything. The device slipped through a ventilation shaft and made its way to a small ship docked in the maintenance bay. Inside the ship, a figure in a dark suit waited. The human picked up the device and smiled. "Transmission complete," said Jack Wilson to himself as he downloaded the council's meeting. "Command isn't going to believe this." He started his ship's engine. It made no sound. The stealth technology that had allowed him to infiltrate the council station would now take him home. To Earth. With a warning. The aliens thought humans were trapped in their solar system. They thought humans were primitive and unaware. They were wrong. And by the time they realized their mistake, it would be too late. 20 years had passed since Jack Wilson brought back the news of the Galactic Council. Earth had changed since then. Nations that once fought each other now worked together. They had a common enemy now. Captain James Walker stood on the bridge of the Pathfinder *, Earth's first true interstellar ship. He looked out at the stars and remembered the day everything changed. "Captain, we're approaching the target," said Lieutenant Anna Riley from her station. James nodded. "Maintain stealth systems. Let's not let them know we're here yet." The Pathfinder * moved silently through space. It was heading for one of the alien probes at the edge of the solar system. These probes were the eyes and ears of the Galactic Council. For 20 years, they had watched Earth, thinking humans were trapped in their solar system. They were wrong. James thought back to how it all began. When Jack Wilson returned from his secret mission, the world leaders didn't believe him at first. But the proof was clear. The recording showed the Council planning to either destroy or enslave humanity. "We need more time," the President had said in that first emergency meeting. "We need to learn their technology." And so began the greatest secret project in human history. Using the stealth ship Jack had stolen, scientists studied alien technology. They learned its secrets. They made it better. "Sir, we have visual on the probe," said Anna, breaking into James's thoughts. On the main screen, they could see it. A small round device floating in space. It looked simple, but James knew better. Inside was technology far beyond what Earth had 20 years ago. But not anymore. "Capture team. Prepare to move," James ordered. From the Pathfinder *, a smaller ship detached. 4 crew members in spacesuits guided it toward the alien probe. They worked quickly and quietly. Special tools cut through the probe's outer shell. They attached cables and began downloading data. "Sir, we're getting their transmissions," said Communications Officer Tom Grant. "It's a gold mine. Star maps, fleet positions, communication codes, everything." James smiled. "Perfect. How long until they notice we're here?" "They won't," said Chief Engineer Maria Lopes. She pointed to a device on her screen. "This mimics the probe's normal signals. The Council will think everything is fine." The capture team finished their work and returned to the Pathfinder *. In the ship's lab, scientists began studying the fresh data from the probe. "Captain, you need to see this," said Dr. Bill Thompson, pointing to his screen. "They're planning something." James looked at the decoded alien messages. His face grew serious. "They're debating what to do with us," he said. "Some want to make contact. Others think we're still too primitive. But the leader, this Tark, he's pushing for elimination. He thinks we're a threat." "He's not wrong," said Admiral Marcus Reed over the communication link from Earth. The Admiral was the head of the Terran Defense Initiative, the secret program building Earth's defense fleet. "How soon can you return with the data?" "We'll jump back immediately, sir," James replied. Back on Earth, Admiral Reed waited in the underground command center. When the Pathfinder * returned, he studied the data carefully. Then he made a call to the World Council. "It's time for the next phase," he told them. "The Council is getting restless. Some want to contact us. Others want to destroy us. We need to accelerate the fleet production." In a massive underground facility beneath the Pacific Ocean, hundreds of ships were under construction. They combined human innovation with reverse-engineered alien technology. They were smaller than Council ships, but faster and with better weapons. And they had something the Council didn't expect: quantum stealth fields that made them completely invisible. "How long until the first battle group is ready?" asked the President. 6 months, replied Admiral Reed. "Maybe less." "And the special weapons?" Reed smiled. "Dr. Torres and Dr. Miller have exceeded expectations. Their quantum disruption tech can disable any Council ship without destroying it." The President nodded. "Prepare the fleet. If the Council wants war, we'll give them a surprise they'll never forget." In the shadows of Earth's orbital shipyards, humanity's warships took shape, silent, deadly, ready. The Galactic Council still thought humans were primitive. They would learn their mistakes soon enough. Counselor Ilara paced in her private chamber on the small ship. For 20 years, she had argued the humans deserved a chance. 20 years of being ignored by Tark and the other council members. "We can't wait any longer," she said to her small crew. "Tark is gathering support for his final solution. If we don't act now, billions of humans will die." Her first officer, Nev, looked worried. "This mission is not approved by the council. We could be punished." "Some things are worth the risk," Ilara replied. "Set course for Earth." Their ship was small but fast. It slipped past the monitoring stations around Earth's solar system. Ilara had planned this mission carefully. They would approach Earth openly, send messages of peace, and warn the humans about Tark's plans. But as they entered the solar system, something unexpected happened. "Multiple ships approaching," reported Nev. They appeared out of nowhere. On the screen, 5 human vessels surrounded them. They were sleek, dark, and clearly armed. Ilara had expected primitive ships, not these advanced warships. "Open a communication channel," she ordered. The screen lit up to show a human face. Commander Alex Foster of the Terran Defense Fleet looked back at Ilara with surprise. He had not expected a first contact situation today. "Alien vessel, this is Commander Foster of Earth. State your purpose." Ilara stepped forward. "I am Counselor Ilara of the Galactic Council. I come in peace to warn your people of danger." In his command chair, Foster frowned. The Galactic Council. That matched the intelligence from 20 years ago. But why come now? "We will escort you to our base for further discussion," he said. "Please follow our lead." Foster ordered a standard scan of the alien ship. It was protocol. But the aliens didn't know that. On Ilara's ship, alarms sounded. The security chief, a jumpy officer named Krell, shouted, "They're scanning our weapons. It's an attack." Before Ilara could stop him, Krell fired a defensive pulse. The energy blast hit one of the Earth ships, damaging its engines. "Stop firing," Ilara shouted, but it was too late. The human ships responded immediately. Not with destruction, but with precision. They targeted Ilara's ship's weapons and engines with surgical accuracy. On the bridge of his ship, Foster watched the situation spiral out of control. "Disable their weapons only. No casualties if possible." The fight lasted less than a minute. When it ended, 2 human officers were dead from the initial blast. On the alien ship, Krell and another crew member had died when a console exploded. And Ilara lay on the floor, injured by falling debris, her blue blood pooling beneath her. Foster boarded the alien ship with a medical team. They found Ilara and treated her wounds. "Why did you come here?" he asked as the medic worked. "To warn you," she whispered. "The Council. Tark wants to eliminate humanity. Thinks you're too dangerous." I disagreed. Foster's team secured the alien ship and downloaded its data. What they found shocked them. Star maps, fleet positions, Council debates about Earth's fate. "There are thousands of worlds out there," Foster told Admiral Reed when they returned to Earth. "And most of their leaders want us dead." In the medical facility, Ilara recovered from her injuries. She met with human leaders and told them everything. "Your technology is far more advanced than the Council realizes," she said. "How is this possible?" Admiral Reed smiled grimly. 20 years ago, we captured one of your stealth scouts. We've been learning ever since." "The Council has made a terrible mistake," Ilara said. "They think you're contained, primitive, but you've been preparing." "Yes," said Reed. "And now we know we don't have much time. According to your ship's data, Tark is pushing for action against Earth within 5 years." The president looked at the reports, then at Ilara. "Will any on the Council stand with us?" "Some," she replied. "But not enough. Tark controls the military." In the silence that followed, Foster spoke up. Then we have to act first. Reed nodded. We've built a fleet in secret. Now we know where to strike. Ilara looked from face to face, seeing determination in each human's eyes. The Council has no idea what they've awakened, she said quietly. Outside the window, the first ships of Earth's new fleet moved into position, preparing for war. 5 years had passed since the meeting with Ilara. Earth had used that time well. In hidden shipyards across the solar system, humans built the largest fleet they had ever created. Admiral Reed stood on the bridge of the Invincible Asterisk, Earth's first dreadnought-class warship. At 800 meters long, it was a monster of metal and technology. But its greatest weapon wasn't its size. It was its invisibility. "All ships report ready, Admiral," said General Alex Foster, now promoted after years of service. "Operation Midnight can begin." Reed nodded. "Show me the fleet." The main screen lit up. Outside, floating in the darkness of space, were 500 warships. Some were small and fast. Others were large and powerful. All carried weapons that could break planets, and all had the quantum stealth technology that made them invisible to Council sensors. "Has Ilara's intelligence been confirmed?" Reed asked. "Yes, sir," Foster replied. "Tark has called the full Council to meet in 3 days. The elimination vote is on the agenda." Reed's face hardened. "Then we move now. Humanity won't wait to be exterminated." He turned to the communications officer. "Send the order. All ships to jump points. We strike at dawn." Across the fleet, captains received their orders. The plan was simple but bold. Earth's ships would jump to key points across Council space. They would position themselves above important worlds. They would surround the Council capital. And then, they would reveal themselves all at once. On the Pathfinder Asterisk, now upgraded and serving as a scout ship, Captain James Walker prepared his crew. "This will be the most important mission of our lives," he told them. "We jump first. We confirm the target is clear. The fleet follows." In her quarters aboard the Invincible Asterisk, Ilara watched the humans prepare. She had spent 5 years helping them, teaching them about Council worlds and tactics. She still hoped for peace, but knew Tark would never allow it. "Your fleet is impressive," she told Reed when he visited her. "But the Council has ruled for 10,000 years. They won't surrender easily." "We don't want them to surrender," Reed replied. "We want them to listen, to understand that humanity cannot be pushed aside or eliminated." Ilara nodded. "I hope enough blood hasn't been spilled before they learn that lesson." As Earth's fleet prepared to jump, something was happening at the edge of the solar system. The Council's monitoring probes detected unusual energy readings from Earth. On the Council homeworld, Tark reviewed the reports. "More primitive nuclear tests," he said dismissively. "The humans are still playing with toys while we decide their fate." His aide looked concerned. "Sir, the energy readings are much higher than before." "It doesn't matter," Tark said. "In 3 days, the Council will vote, and they will choose elimination. The human problem will be solved." Little did he know that the human problem was about to arrive on his doorstep. In deep space, the Earth fleet began its jumps. The technology was based on Council designs, but improved by human engineers. Ships disappeared from the Sol system and reappeared light years away, near Council worlds. The Invincible Asterisk led the largest group. 50 ships jumped to the Council capital, a massive space station orbiting the yellow star. They arrived completely silent, their quantum fields hiding them from all sensors. "Position achieved," reported Foster. "All ships in formation." Around the galaxy, human captains reported the same. Earth ships now surrounded every major Council world. Hidden, waiting. On the Council station, preparations for the grand meeting continued. Representatives from all member species arrived in their finest clothes. None of them knew that human warships floated just above their heads. In his chambers, Tark practiced his speech. He would call for humanity's end. He would speak of the danger they posed. He would convince the Council to act. Tomorrow, he said to himself, tomorrow the humans will be sentenced to extinction. Outside his window, the asterisk invincible asterisk drifted silently, its weapons locked on the council chamber. Admiral Reed watched the alien's reflection in the viewscreen. Tomorrow, Reed said quietly, the galaxy changes forever. The silent armada waited for dawn. The Council Centennial Gathering was the most important event in galactic politics. Representatives from all member species filled the grand chamber. They wore colorful robes and jewelry that showed their status. Guards with energy weapons stood at every door. In the center of the room, Councillor Tark took his place at the high seat. He looked around with satisfaction. After today, his place in history would be secure. He would be known as the leader who removed the human threat before it could spread. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, Tark began. We gather today to discuss many important matters. But first, we must address the human question. The chamber grew quiet. Everyone knew about the primitive species from Earth. For years, Tark had warned about their violent nature. Our monitoring stations show that humans continue to develop weapons. Tark continued. They are unstable, unpredictable, a threat to galactic peace. On the view screen behind him, images of Earth appeared. Human cities, human wars, human weapons. I propose a final solution, Tark said. Complete removal of the human species before they can leave their solar system. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some nodded in agreement. Others looked uncomfortable. Is this not extreme? Asked a representative from a peaceful world. They have not attacked us. Yet, Tark replied, we must act before they can. I call for a vote. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed. The main view screen changed to show a security alert. What is happening? Tark demanded. The security chief rushed in, his face pale. Unknown ships, sir. Hundreds of them. They just appeared in orbit around every council world. Impossible, Tark shouted. No fleet that size could approach without detection. The view screen changed again. Now it showed space outside the station. There, appearing as if by magic, were dozens of massive ships. Dark, powerful, weapons ready. The council chamber erupted in panic. Representatives shouted questions. Guards raised their weapons. Then the screen changed once more. A human face appeared. Admiral Reed looked calmly at the shocked aliens. Greetings, Galactic Council. I am Admiral Marcus Reed of Earth. Tark stared in disbelief. How? How did you get this signal? How are you here? Reed smiled slightly. We've been listening to you for 20 years, Councillor Tark. We know you plan to destroy us. So we prepared. Another alien rushed into the chamber. Sir, human ships are in orbit around every major council world. Our defenses aren't responding. Reed continued. Your weapons have been temporarily disabled. We come not to destroy, but to talk. Something you never considered doing with us. Tark turned to the military commander. Launch the fleet. Destroy them. The commander looked terrified. Sir, our ships report all weapon systems are offline. They've been hacked somehow. Impossible. Tark slammed his fist down. No primitive species could defeat our technology. That's your mistake, Reed said. You thought we were primitive because we were young. You never considered that we might learn quickly. On the screen behind Reed, more human ships appeared. The council representatives watched in horror as the full size of Earth's fleet became clear. We could have destroyed your worlds, Reed said. We chose not to. Now you will listen. Tark looked around desperately. His plan was falling apart. The humans weren't trapped on Earth. They were here, with a fleet that had appeared from nowhere and disabled the council's defenses without firing a shot. What do you want? Asked another council member, pushing past Tark. Recognition, respect, and a place at the galactic table. Reed replied. General Foster will arrive shortly to discuss terms. The screen went dark. In the silence that followed, Every alien in the room looked to Tark. His 4 yellow eyes blinked rapidly. For the first time in his long life, he had no words. Outside, the human ships remained in position. Their dark hulls reflected the light of distant stars. Silent, powerful, waiting. On the bridge of the Invincible Asterisk, Reed turned to Foster. The first part is done. Now comes the hard part. Foster nodded. Negotiations. Yes, Reed said. Let's hope they're ready to listen. For their sake. The fate of 2 civilizations now hung in the balance. General Alex Foster stepped off the shuttle onto the council station. 6 armed human soldiers followed him. At his side walked Counselor Ilara, her blue skin standing out among the humans. Council guards lined the hallway, watching nervously. They had never seen humans before. These creatures looked so simple, yet their ships had bypassed every defense in the galaxy. They're afraid, Ilara whispered to Foster. Good, he replied quietly. Fear will make them listen. The doors to the council chamber opened. Inside, representatives from all 12 major species waited. Some looked angry. Others looked curious. All looked worried. Tark stood at the center, his yellow eyes narrowed. So, the primitives have arrived. Foster stepped forward. We are not primitive, Counselor Tark. Your mistake was thinking that youth means weakness. An older council member leaned forward. How did your ships avoid detection? How did you disable our weapons? Foster smiled. Human ingenuity. We took your technology and made it better. He placed a small device on the table. It projected images showing the full extent of Earth's fleet. The aliens murmured in shock as they saw hundreds of warships positioned throughout council space. For 20 years, Foster continued, we listened while you debated whether to destroy us. We prepared. We built. We improved. And now we're here. Tark slammed his hand down. This is an act of war. You threaten the council with destruction. No, Foster said calmly. If we wanted war, your worlds would already be burning. We want peace, but on equal terms. Ilara stepped forward. Members of the council, I have lived among the humans. They are young, yes. Sometimes violent, yes. But they are also creative, compassionate, and determined. They deserve a place in our galaxy. They deserve nothing, Tark shouted. They snuck into our space. They hacked our systems. We defended ourselves, Foster interrupted, against a government that planned genocide. He pressed another button on the device. The room filled with recordings of council meetings, plans to eliminate humanity. Tark's voice calling humans a disease to be removed. The council chamber grew quiet. Some representatives looked down in shame. We have evidence of your plans, Foster said, and we have the power to stop you. But that's not why we're here. He touched the device again. Now it showed images of Earth, humans building cities, growing food, making art, children playing. This is what you plan to destroy, Foster said softly. Not a threat, not a disease. People, billions of people with hopes and dreams. Families, future. Several council members looked troubled. One stood up. What do you want from us? She asked. Recognition, Foster replied. Earth to be acknowledged as a sovereign power. The quarantine lifted. Free trade and exchange of knowledge. Impossible, Tark said. You cannot demand. I'm not finished, Foster cut in. His voice grew harder. We also want reform. The council has ruled too long without checks on its power. Smaller species need protection from your final solutions. The chamber erupted in arguments. Some supported the humans. Others sided with Tark. Foster let them argue, watching. Finally, Tark played his last card. And if we refuse, will you destroy our worlds? Prove that we were right about your violent nature. Foster's face remained calm. No, but we've modified our ships. Each carries a planet cracker weapon. Not to destroy your worlds, but to destroy your ability to make war. He showed them images of the weapons. They could target military bases with precision. No civilian casualties, but the Council would lose its military power. "You're bluffing," Tark said, but his voice wavered. "Test us," Foster replied. "See what happens." The room fell silent again. Then, one by one, Council members began to speak. Most favored negotiation. They had seen Earth's power. They wanted peace. Tark watched as his support crumbled. His plan to eliminate humanity had failed. Now, humans were dictating terms to the Council. After hours of talk, a preliminary agreement was reached. Earth would be recognized. The quarantine would end. A new framework for galactic governance would be created. Foster returned to his ship with the signed agreement. "They've agreed to our terms," he told Admiral Reed over the communication link. "For now." Reed's face showed little happiness. "For now," he repeated. "Keep the fleet in position. I don't trust Tark to accept defeat so easily." Foster nodded. The battle was won, but the war might not be over. 1 year had passed since the day human warships appeared over Council worlds. The galaxy had changed forever. Earth was no longer a quarantine planet. It had become a center for trade, diplomacy, and innovation. Ships from dozens of alien species visited daily, exchanging goods and ideas. In orbit above Earth, a massive space station was almost complete. It would be the home of the new Galactic Assembly, replacing the old Council. Here, all species would have an equal voice, not just the powerful 12. Admiral Reed stood at the window of his office, watching ships come and go. Some were human. Others were alien designs. All moved peacefully in the space around Earth. "It's quite a view," said Ilara, entering the room. She now served as Earth's ambassador to the galaxy. Reed nodded. 1 year ago, these species were planning to destroy us. Now they're our trading partners. Most of them never wanted war, Ilara replied. Tark and his faction pushed for it. The rest were simply afraid of the unknown. Reed turned to face her. "Speaking of Tark, any news?" Ilara's face grew serious. "Our spies report he's gathering supporters in secret, many who lost power when the Council reformed." Before Reed could respond, an alarm sounded. General Foster rushed into the room, his face tense. "We're detecting energy signatures," he said. "Hidden weapons platforms. They just activated near Earth." Reed's eyes narrowed. "Tark." On screens around the room, small dots appeared. Weapons platforms had been hidden throughout the solar system. Now they powered up, aiming at Earth. "How many?" Reed asked. 30, Foster replied. "Enough to cause serious damage." Reed pressed a button on his desk. "All ships to defensive positions. Activate the shield grid." Across Earth's orbit, human ships moved to protect the planet. On the ground, enormous generators hummed to life. Technology that humans had developed in secret over the past year. The first alien weapons fired. Beams of energy shot toward Earth. For a moment, they seemed unstoppable. Then the impossible happened. A blue shield shimmered into existence around the entire planet. The alien weapons hit the shield and dissolved harmlessly. In his hidden base at the edge of Council space, Tark watched in disbelief. How? How do they have planetary shields? Even we don't have that technology. On his screen, another shock awaited. Human ships weren't just defending. They were attacking the weapons platforms with precision, disabling them without destroying them. Within minutes, all 30 platforms were captured intact. "Sir," a technician said to Reed, "we've traced the control signal. It leads back to Tark's base." Reed smiled grimly. "Send the coordinates to all member worlds of the Assembly. Let them see who attacked a peaceful planet." Within hours, ships from 20 species surrounded Tark's base. The last remnant of the old Council's power was broken. 2 weeks later, representatives from all known spacefaring species gathered on Earth's new space station. It was time to formalize the new order. Reed and Elara stood together as the new Galactic Charter was signed. Earth was not just a member. It was a founding power of the new assembly. "There's something I need to show you," Reed told Elara after the ceremony. "Something we've been working on." He led her to a secure area of the station where a strange device hummed quietly. "What is it?" she asked. "Faster-than-light communication," Reed replied. "Not just travel, but instant communication across any distance." Elara's eyes widened. "That's impossible. The Council tried for thousands of years. Humans are good at doing the impossible," Reed said with a smile. "This will change everything. No more waiting weeks for messages between worlds." As they left the lab, they stopped at a large observation window. Below them, Earth shone blue and green. Above them, the stars stretched to infinity. "You know what Tark's biggest mistake was?" Reed asked. "What?" "He thought our technology made us dangerous. But it wasn't our ships or our weapons that defeated the Council." "What was it then?" Elara asked. Reed watched as a group of human and alien children ran past, playing together in the station's park. "It was hope," he said. "Humans never stopped hoping for a better future. Even when faced with extinction, we believed we could find a way forward." Elara smiled. Perhaps that's what the galaxy needed most. Outside the window, construction ships worked on a new type of vessel, larger than any before. Not a warship, but an exploration ship, built by humans and aliens working together. Its name was painted on the hull in many languages. *Unity*. The stars waited.